this game, you only have two choices. You either give up and you become a loser and you stay a loser because you are afraid of... So how are you doing? You had a recent surgery on your hand. What was that about?
It was a planned surgery, so I had a metacarpal bones excision plus a cyst removed, which means there were two bones as well underneath that sticking out, so we shaved that down.
Was that on the surface
my wrist.
of your
on
your wrist? Okay. And was that something that you needed to have done, or did you have any issues with your health or with your bones? Or?
Well, I've tolerated for quite some time before I ended up going to the decision that I'm going to have a surgery, really.
Mm-hmm.
But it was getting quite painful, so I had to do the surgery at the end. It's quite interesting, as I'm a nurse as well, so it was quite interesting to see the other side, to be a patient this time.
Ah, of course, because you're normally there, the person who does the injections. And how did it feel like to be on the other side, I guess?
Well, not quite nice, I have to say, but it was quite different. The anxiety was sky high because when you know too many things, then you can get more anxious about the procedure as it is.
Yeah.
The less that you know, the better it is.
How was different to your experience? Like what are the things that you were like knew before the surgery?
Well, I was prepared, so when I went there, I was prepared to like what kind of like anesthetic I'm gonna have, how I would like it to be, and what my expectations were.
Okay.
So quite high.
And what's like the recovery process? Does that take long?
It does take around like 4 to 6 weeks, roughly. So I cannot use the arm for that period. But I did promise myself, because I'm doing like exercising as well in the fitness industry, that I'm just going to hit aerobic and leg days. Although, leg days, you can't do leg day every day. It's quite hard.
For sure, but it's really impressive because you can't really also go and do upper body and because you have your...
Yeah, I can't use it at all. No.
But you're still going to the gym and you're still making the effort. You're like very disciplined to like go every day and do the things that need to be done and get out of the way.
It's one of the things that it describes me, really. Determination, and then turn up every day for myself.
For sure.
Because it would have been completely different. I would have felt under the weather if I don't continue my routine or if I don't go to the gym, because it's part of my life and part of who I am. So, yeah.
Speaking about that, as in from 2 days from now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do 82 hours of water fasting. And for those who are not familiar of what the 82 hours water fasting, so you go on without any food and you only drink water for the first, I think it's for the first 48 hours or 72 hours. And you have your electrolytes and make sure that you don't have any sugar inside of your electrolytes. And then after the 72 hours, then the next 2 days of that, you have twice a day bone broth. And I mean, I'm not the best when it comes to dieting, and I really want to change. And one of the key factors that I want to do that challenge is not only for the health benefits that you can get out of that, but it's also I want to test and push myself to how much I can, push myself and my mind in order for me to achieve this challenge.
As long as you do it safely, because for those people that they've never experienced such a thing before or they've never done it, normally you gradually start fasting and not going straight away on 72 hours.
Yeah.
So you have to be really careful. And then when you feel that at the point that, you're feeling quite tired, then that's your limitations there. As you said, with the electrolytes, you have to be really careful. Please read the ingredients, because in the industry there's so many crap adding on the electrolytes. It's unbelievable.
Is it true that you can go without any food for more than 3 days? Because I think it's like the 7-day challenge, ideally. Can you go? How many days you can go without food?
The thing
based on
is,
just water.
the thing is, you have to kind of like get in that routine and get used to fasting first, gradually,
Right.
and then there is no limitation. I mean, the more days that you do, the best results you have. But for beginners, you feel like you have like flu symptoms because your body's trying to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
So you will feel under the weather. Of course, the more that you last more than 48 hours, that's when your body regenerates and your cells as well, they're regenerating at that point.
For sure. And I think it's a great exercise that you can, do it once a month or every other, or in a couple of months maybe, so you can reset your body and reset your metabolism and start to, adjust the way that you want your diet and everything.
By doing that, you're giving a break on your digestive system, and that's where everything comes back from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, we really have to pay attention, not what are we drinking during the fasting, but how you're gonna break your fasting as well.
One of the questions that I had and I wanted to ask you was, how can I combine my exercises and what sort of exercises can I do when I'm during that period of water fasting?
So normally you go for low intensity because you won't be able to have that energy levels, especially for people that they haven't done it before. They're gonna feel quite like low and not energized. The more regular that you're doing that, then your body can use it, and then you won't have as many side effects as you would have normally in the beginning. But to begin with, you should start with like low intensity, some yoga exercises, slow pace walking, maybe incline if you go to the gym and you use the treadmill. And as I said, the more experienced you become and the more often you do it, then you can implement more exercises on that period.
For sure. And if you were to advise me like for 3 best exercises that I can focus on losing belly fat, which one do you prefer, like your top 3?
Anything that includes really putting more strain on your body, for
on
example.
My core or okay.
I wouldn't only focus on your core, because if I give you an example first, back squats, you have to engage your core to perform the exercise correctly, which equally you will burn the belly fat. You have to bear in mind though that it's very important, your diet. If your diet is correct, that's the last bit of the fat that you're going to lose, as generally speaking. So one will be back squats, and the second will be, even when we do upper body, for example, chest press with a barbell or with dumbbell, again, you need to engage your whole core and your body to perform the exercise correctly, and again, you will burn fat. And the third exercise I will probably say is Bulgarian split squats. That is a hell of an exercise. I really hate it.
Right, okay. That's like your top 3 to go for. That's interesting. And one of the most important things that I'm constantly being reminded of is that equally as training your body, you need to work out your brain as well. And I think we've previously talked about this on one of our previous episodes. You can click somewhere or find that in the description below if you want to watch that, where we said about on, how quickly can you learn on doing certain things, or on how much you can memorize information by either reading a book or reading a book and listening to the book and some other things as well. And I think for me, it only makes sense to me right now is to read something or be exposed to information that I can use right now. I'm not saying, everything that you can read and everything that you can use to increase your knowledge is good. However, how much you can use that to your daily life matters more than just acquiring generic information. And I had this discussion with a friend of mine when we just went for a coffee, and I said to him, can you give me some recommendations for books, because I really want to increase my storytelling. I really want to increase my ways of communicating with people, because that is how I can elevate myself to being the best version of myself right now in my current state. And he was trying to recommend me like a couple of books, like history books and all that. But this is exactly my point. You need to find something that will make sense to you right now, and use that knowledge to apply to your daily life in order for you to become 10 times better. And if you're someone who's not making like lots of money, or like this sort of hustle culture where everybody's promoting like 10K a month and all that, all of those side hustles.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best side hustle that you can have right now is to invest in yourself. Instead of investing in anything like crypto and all that, Bitcoin, that's good. But I don't think it's as good as when you're starting with a little money. And my best, the way I see and the things I do in my life is to invest in the knowledge that I can use currently, and that knowledge will automatically level up my existence, because it's also the fact that when we're talking here, you're talking to another human being, because behind of the camera is another human being, and I want to create a relationship and environment where, as if someone were sat right next to me and we're having chat. As simple as that. The ultimate goal is just to get so many friends that everybody can win out of these situations by either listening to us or watching us. And that's precisely the principle. If you separate yourself and differentiate yourself from the commodity out there, because everybody's at some point, some degree, they're getting influenced by people, whether that is social media or the daily life, whether we like it or not. We need to find a way to differentiate ourselves from the rest of the people. And a good way, a good technique is to just have your own environment before you just being inside of any circle.
Yeah.
Because now you're very used to doing the things that you want to do for you, not just doing the things that you want to do for someone else to get their attention or to get the respect for all that. And that's how you get other people's attention at the same time, because now you put yourself in that position, that situation where you're doing things for yourself and things are working out for yourself, and automatically you attract that good energy into your own life, because you're so focused, you're so dedicated, you're now more consistent, you now have more willpower to do the things that you need to do in order for you to become the best version of yourself. And now automatically what happens is that everybody wants a piece of it. And that's how you attract people to you, instead of you trying to focus all your time and energy towards other people. And I think that's a very good way to learn from it. The sooner the better, because once you acquire that technique, then everybody will automatically want to be in your life.
That's true. That's very good points that you made on that, really.
And the things that I value the most are, one, of my energy and my surroundings. Like, you can't allow people to talk down to you, or you can't allow people to think that your videos are cringe, and you're now demonizing yourself, and you're telling yourself that you're not good enough. In this game, you only have two choices. You either give up and you become a loser and you stay a loser because you are afraid of stepping up on your game, and you feel like you cannot be that person, your ideal person, or you step up your game, you expose yourself to the reality, you see how difficult it is to do anything, but you're still going forward. You're still not giving up. And what you find is the moment that feels scary to jump is precisely the moment that you jump. Then this is where you find true success in anything that you do. And that really comes to the businesses as well dramatically. And me personally, I've been exposed to the whole side hustle sort of bull run in late 2022, where everything was, make money fast and easy money. But the thing is that easy comes, easy goes.
Very true.
Because you need to not just be able to generate money and income streams,
sustain it as well,
but also scale it and then preserve it. Have the ability. Okay, say you go from 10 to 100K in a month, for example. But how do you maintain so much money? I can't say for exactly what it takes to go from A to B or how to maintain when you get there, because I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
And this is exactly the ideal place where we can document those things, because there's nothing better than documenting your life and the things that you're going through and the things that you do in your businesses as well. Because at the end of the day, I really wish I had someone, point out my problems or someone to go to when I had a problem, instead of me trying to, hit my head on the wall and I figure out everything by myself.
What difficulties did you face so far?
So let me take you back to the beginning. When I first started the whole side hustle journey, I started when everyone were really into like SMMAs, agencies, digital agencies, basically. And I think the number one reason that I deemed myself that I failed, it was because I wasn't consistent enough. I didn't have the right mentality. I didn't have the right vision for me to do what it takes. And I think it's really easy to acquire those skills as long as you have a daily habit. As long as you set up your calendar in a way that you can do the things that you need to do. Now, there's different techniques. Everybody's different to how they want to structure their life. And that is absolutely fine. As long as you do the things that you want to do, I don't care if you want to watch Netflix. I don't care if you want to play your video game. As long as you do the things that really matter first. And then you can enjoy your life. Because what I see is like everybody's judging other people. Oh, you're watching Netflix. Oh, you I don't know, play video games. Oh, you're listening to music because music nowadays is degenerate. Or you do all those things. But I think a lot of us, we're really missing the point. And the point is, as long as you do the things that matter first, as long as you work out your business and focus on your business and put the right amount of time towards your business, then you should give permission to yourself to find enjoyment with whatever satisfies you, whether that is playing video games or watching Netflix or listening to music. I think we become so difficult to ourselves. At the same time, we're trying to convince that no matter what it is, I will just work day in and out. Because I've tried it. I know how hard it is.
Yeah.
And you need to find the right balance in order to succeed. You can't just say, I'll just work 2 years without ever having, at least some kind of fun in my life.
Yeah.
No matter the levels.
But definitely you need to do some sacrifices, though, to reach your goals.
For sure. Everything that you do in life, the way I see it, you sacrifice something else. If I want to devote myself to work, then I have to sacrifice my pleasure. If I want to, travel around the world, then I can't really work the same as if I want to travel. So no matter what you do, you sacrifice something else. The way I see it And the way I put things in my own life in line is I never really assign a feeling towards a goal. And I always assign a responsibility towards that goal. Because if I say, I'll give you an example, if I say I don't feel like going to the gym, or if I don't feel like working on my business today, or if I say I don't feel like, I don't know, doing whatever, it's not the same as if I was to say to you, I have a responsibility to do that because of the consequences that I will later on have if I don't. And automatically, it puts me in a scenario that I have to take action. Because I know I'm the main character in this game. And there's no one's going to come into your life, take you by your hand, and work on your business for you.
Yeah.
There's no one's... Let's be real. Let's be real. You know, understand if you don't want to work in your job. Understand if you feel frustrated every time that you're working as an employer for someone else. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think everything that you want to do is absolutely fine. If you want to do an employer and working for someone and making X money, that is absolutely fine as long as you're enjoying what you do. But if you don't want to be in the situation where you feel like you don't belong in that same environment, being under someone else, or have different ideas, or maybe you feel like you can do something on your own, what I personally recommend is to have at least 6 months plan and have a budget for a minimum of 6 months plan if you really want to leave your job, or work on your side hustle, work on your businesses on the weekends, on your free time. It doesn't matter. You have 24 hours in a day. You know, just wake up a little bit earlier, work on your business, go to work, and you always find time.
And you can still make it happen, isn't
You
it?
can still make it happen. And then when you're in this financial situation where you have at least 3 months of income from your business, and now it's generating the same money as your income from the job that you're working for, then you can safely leave that job and then focus on your business full time. But if you really want to leave your job, and if you really want to just completely focus your time 100% on your business, you should at least have a minimum of 6 months of financial freedom, because all you do is buy more time to yourself.
Yeah. And you still have to act smart.
And you still need to have a proper plan. And you still need to think all the things that you need to do in those next 6 months. Because if you just leave it to day after day, you'll find yourself that you eventually run out of resources before even making anything.
Yeah.
And the thing that we always say to ourselves is that we have that illusion that everything is working fine. We even we think that we're working much, we don't actually working as much as we should, because the productivity that we think that we're putting into the things that we work for is not actually the same. And that's what I personally advise. And I know there's a lot of opportunities out there to make a lot of money. And one of the things that we previously mentioned, it was the side hustle culture. You know, and I think we need to stop promoting side hustle culture, because, okay, say you're going into this, you know, field of faceless channels, for example, on YouTube, where all they do, I discussed that in my previous episode, where all they do is just have a script generated from ChatGPT. Then all they do is just find a contractor on Fiverr, and from there they upload the video, and all they do is just have affiliate links down on their description, and then they take a commission. But that automatically becomes very saturated, because everybody will start doing it. And I think the best thing that you can approach any situation when it comes down to money and business is not just you need to have a long a short-term goal, but also a long-term goal, and see if you can see trajectory towards long-term. Because if you cannot sustain and maintain what you made, then it's not really sustainable.
Yeah.
And you need something that is sustainable, scalable, and then you can preserve what is when you get there. And that's why whoever is going through side hustles, and they jump from side hustle to side hustle to side hustle, because it's the new trend, it's the new meta. For those that play video games, they know what I'm talking about. And this is how it goes. And I believe everybody should start making content online today, no matter if they have a business or want to create a business. Because the opportunity that has by creating content, and I take this from Gary Vee, is so much. I'll give you an example. Say that you're in the real estate and you're a real estate agent. And now you do all those videos, you put them on every social media platform. I understand every social media platform is different, and you need to understand how the algorithms work.
Yeah.
But now what you do, you're also generating different levels of incomes online that can help you potentially in the future grow passively without you putting hours in. Because we either work one-on-one, one to, a few, like in a small group, or one to many, which in this scenario is the case.
Okay.
And all you can do is just either you create a small product or a service yourself, or you can be a consultant. And you can offer your consultant sessions for £500, for £250, for a half an hour, 1 hour, whatever. And now, because you are the expert, I don't need to go to a solicitor. I don't need to pay money to someone to get that 10 times more money to get that information.
Yeah.
Because now I can come to you and get all the things that I needed and more if you build up the value in the product that you're building in. And it's a great way to do a lot of things. And I highly recommend everyone who really wants to go into the content creator world to start using podcasts. Podcast, I don't know the exact numbers in 2023, but in last year, I think it was, the numbers for the people who had a podcast was around 300,000. Over to an extent that for YouTubers were like over 18 million users.
Yeah.
You can clearly see the differences night and day. And I've seen that a lot of people are using podcasts nowadays to do whatever. But also what I see is that a lot of people are not consistent enough with their own podcast or their business. And I think there is a study that about 87% of podcasts fail after the third episode. And and there's like a very small percentage, I don't really know the numbers exactly, but there's a very small percentage that doesn't even reach the 10th episode.
Interesting.
So here's my promise to you. In 6 months from now, we'll be here, sat right next to each other, talking about the things that matter, talking about the things that you can create when I create things and share the things I do with you. And I hope you find the things that I do enjoyable. So make sure that you subscribe and follow us throughout the journey. And I think one of the biggest reasons to be able to do this, you need to be consistent to the things that you do. And what I've just done right now is very difficult to make promises to people, because people will hold you accountable. And that's exactly what I need you to do, to hold me accountable to the things that I say. Because the things that we say, I always put practice to them.
Yeah, that's very true.
And understand, we only been doing this for just a month, and understand it's early days. You can't start making promises and being this, guru and start saying things. And for the things that I say, I do daily, and I actively do the things that I'm suggesting right now.
Yeah.
Which hopefully I can work out some things on my own.
But of course, consistency is a key element for whatever you do, generally speaking, in your life. Mm-hmm. Is that a podcast? Is that your work? Is that your gym? Everything really comes from it. And then the energy and the effort that you put in it is how much you like it, how much you want to succeed on that, and what your goals are.
You see, we often have that ideal scenario of what we want to achieve. Say that my ideal is that what I want to achieve is to make 10 G's a month. But because it's a lot of people, they have that ideal scenario in their head where they want to be in the future, they fail to understand what they have to do right now and the things that they have to apply to themselves. And I saw this somewhere on the internet, I can't quite remember where it said, what makes you believe that if you're making 1 million a year with exactly the same mindset and the things that you do right now, you'll be able to maintain or growing your business even more? The chances of failing are over 99%. And I think that's entirely true, because to get somewhere and start making a lot of money, start being a very successful individual, you need to go through a journey. And that journey often comes with loneliness. And that journey also often comes with people saying things to you because they have either tried to do what you want to do, or they have failed in the process, and they want to take you down with them. And I think there's a lot of things to take place, and you need to grow yourself before you reach on that level, which is precisely the reason I'm creating a private community where people who are consistent and people who really care about their future can join. Now, this is not for everybody, and I will not allow people who are not taking this seriously. So make sure you stick around, and it will be soon ready for you to join. I'll make sure to leave all details in the next couple episodes from now on. There's no a launch date, but you'll know what it is. Let me tell you a story, actually, behind all this. Working your communication skills and being different from other people.
Yeah.
In a way that, you talk differently, you act differently, you don't dress the same as other people. You also need to be able to have a great story to tell, which is precisely what I'm doing right now. I'm telling you a story.
Yeah.
And I really find this very fascinating when I hear other people's stories, because I often relate myself with them. And this is one of the great methods that you can use to either, date someone, see someone, your business, or even communicate your message towards other people in a way that is funny, in a way that is, intriguing and mysterious. And we all have a story to tell, but the thing is that we don't actually live our lives to see how you can create a story. Now, I'm not saying I'm the best storyteller out there, and I've really doubled down to the things I communicate with you. But what I really want to make a point of is that no matter if you're just going to work and coming back to, home and just go to gym, you always have a different story to tell every single day, as long as you pay attention to the details.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point.
You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And say if you run out of stories, say that you don't really know what to discuss about, and you don't feel like the things that you said are very interesting and they're always very boring. All you have to do is just create your own story. Jump on a train, go to a small trip, and you always have a story. Spend some, a few pounds to go and actually live. Actually live. And this is what I really missed for myself. And I haven't really done this for a lot of months, actually, not even years. Because I was so deep into, okay, how can I do this and how can I do that? That's fine. But actually living. Because you make no money if that's your goal. But your actual goal is to be free. Now, freedom is different for everybody.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Freedom is a term that is different to everybody. But that is what we all are working for, making money to be able to be free.
And then if you think some people, then when they achieve that, then they decide to live their lives, do the things that they like, go to places that they've never been and they've dreamed of. And yeah.
Another thing that I saw somewhere was, say someone gives you $1 million and you already have the check. So you take the check, you go to the bank, you give the bank the check, and they say to you, that is fine, we just need 10 days to deposit because there's a lot of money. We need 10 days to, make the transaction successful, and then you'll be a millionaire. During that process, during those next 10 days, you are the most happy person that you've ever been. Because now you're already living the dream. Now you're already living the things that you always wanted to do. Go to the vacations that you always wanted to go. Go to Bali or Dubai and, start flexing and see who I am. Because you already process that information in your mind and you live in it as if you were doing this in the future. But you still don't have any money in your pocket. You're still the same broke dude that you were going to Starbucks for coffee like for £1.50, That's very true. And I really thought about this and I said, dude, that's exactly the meaning of life. You need to live your life.
But it's easy
and
to
live
forget.
to tell the story.
It's easy to forget, to be honest with you. Getting in a routine, things getting forgotten.
And that's my point. If you're really stuck into I need to work, or I need to go to the gym, or I need to do this, we often forget to actually live and do the things that makes us happy.
Or even enjoy those small things and small moments as well.
Yeah. But there is a trap card on that. And as I mentioned a word which was happiness. Because I know a lot of people that are trying to chase where happiness is. And I think happiness is different for everybody. You can find happiness in different things that you do, no matter what you do. However, chasing happiness, I don't think is the right method to be free. I can't exactly give you the description of that as of yet because I haven't really found my own happiness in order for me to tell you my own story based on that. What I can relate to that is the things that I currently do. Say this podcast. I really love doing this. I always wanted to find something to give me purpose, and I think this is it. Can I be 100% sure? I don't know. And I don't think I'll ever know if that's exactly what I really want. But right now, it gives me 100% the purpose I always wanted for now. In the future, it could be different. So to me right now, that is part of being, happy and successful in a way that I have something to do. I always, wake up every single day looking out for the new things that I'm going to explore, to the new things I'm going to learn, and sit down with you and talk in front of the camera and speak about the things that I learned. It's almost like I feel like a 5-year-old kid. There's everything so new. Like you taking the kids to the park and they see every new faces, new people they can play with, new background. And this is exactly how this feels to me, because it's everything so new. I'm also like, I love this. I need to know more about this. And the more that you know something, the more that you explore yourself to new possibilities and new threads of possibilities. And if you start thinking about this, what I say makes sense. And I always compare to the things that we see in the documentaries and to the scene that we see in the movies. Because movies nowadays, they all come to reality day after day. There at some point, I'm pretty sure we will live the day where at some point we'll see cyborgs running across the streets. I don't know, just making that shit up. However, that's how I see it. I'll tell you an example when I mentioned documentaries. I was watching a documentary a couple of days ago about animals and what was happening in dinosaurs era and before then, and how Earth and animals, leveled up and the evolution basically of animal life, and what they had to do to adapt and survive in order for them to, make it. And that was really educational. And I took the small pieces of information from the documentary and apply that to my life. I apply that to the things so I can see life, I can see people differently. To give you an example, really crucial point they made in the documentary was on how males are mating with the females and what they have to do to compete with each other in order for them to get whoever they want.
Yeah.
And I saw how the same that scenario is in reality. Say you're a single guy, you really want to go out and find your girlfriend, you go to clubs and you see all the main predators there are just want the same chick. She's a 10, you kind of 6 or 7. You don't have the same confidence as like other people like 9s and 10s. But all you do is just sit back and watch. And watch on how the females are responding to each other. How are the people, how are the men are approaching the single one, and they all get rejected. Because now you see if there's like a female group and there's one that she's like a 9 or a 10, and the rest of them are like a 5 or 6, And because they all feel, they all want the same attention, and she wants to be, the kind of person that she's just rejecting everybody to have fun with their friends, because that's the reality. And you don't allow yourself to go there. You just wait patiently and patiently wait to the right moment where you see guy after guy she's rejecting, and now her friends, they're going to the toilet because if someone goes there, they all go anyway. So, and she's alone. And now you are the main predator, because now 99% of other male predators, even if they were 9s or 10s, they all got rejected because they didn't make a plan before they do that. And now you make your move.
So is that your strategy?
And now you make your move. Let me finish and I'll tell you. And now you walking towards to here with confidence, with a smile on your face. You had a drink, Or maybe you want to offer a drink and you always start with a compliment. And now you see her smile. And now you see, you're just that chill dude that, it doesn't really affect you as much as getting rejected. And you're talking to her in a friendly manner. And now she's very comfortable with you. However, since you have the opportunity to talk with someone, because now her friends are in the toilet, you buy her a drink, you flirt with her, you get her number. Even better, you start dancing with her. And next thing you know, she's back at your place. And that's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. And that was the story of the documentary. And I said, that is absolutely phenomenal, because that's exactly what is in the reality right now.
That's a very good plan.
You need a plan. You need to understand the field. You need to see when is the right movement, the right time to make a move, and then you make a move. You use your hook, and when it's hooked, then you have to retain the conversation. And once you retain the conversation, you flirt a little bit, and you have it ready. What do you think? As a female, I really want to know your perspective.
The thing is, at the end of the day, everything comes from our choices. So we will reject, and we are the ones that we are going to choose at the end which guy we like the most. However, I want to say that don't take rejection like to your heart. Okay, you've been rejected, and so what? Nothing has happened. You move on. You just do things differently next time, but you crack on with your life. I just don't understand when people feel like so down by a rejection, or like the whole world has been, destroyed for them, and then they don't know what they do, and they're very sad.
I think it's a massive part plays of when you're getting rejected. You feel very insecure about yourself the next couple of minutes.
That's fine. That should be.
But I think
the opposite.
You're always in a win-win situation, because even if you get rejected, you have now succeeded to walk up to someone and talk to.
Exactly.
Even if you get rejected, you have more confidence to walk to someone else and talk to them. You will know what to say a little bit better.
It's a bit of an exercise.
It's a little bit of an exercise.
The more that you do, the better you become.
And I think when I do that, I don't approach someone thinking I don't know them as a completely stranger. I always approach someone thinking that I know them, and when I go talk to them, it's almost like I talk to a friend of mine. And at the same time, it doesn't feel the same. It just feels like I'm just talking to a friend. But the things I say, they're different.
Yeah, but you break the ice,
but
and it's
I
not
break
awkward.
the ice. It's not awkward for me and not awkward for her. And I think that's pretty much, how you do it. I know it takes a lot of time to be able to do that. And what I used to do is to, go to the grocery store or go get a coffee. And I'll just talk to the waiter and say, how's your day? Good morning. And what's your name? Nice to meet you. Without even flirting with him, just talking to her, so I can build up my social skills. And once I'm confident enough to talk to people that I don't know, just because I've practiced enough, now it doesn't feel the same when I'm just talking to someone that I never really met before. And I think that's a lot of guys that they're struggling with, I see. And I used to be like that. I'm not saying I'm perfect the way I am. I used to be like that. And these are the techniques that I did to train myself and train my mind when I talk to someone. And you see, the more that you talk and communicate with someone, the things that you say, they become better. It's practice. Exactly. You become better on flirting. You become better on finding out the things before you even walk up to someone to see if they're interested in you. And I have a rule, a technique for that, which I call the 3-second rule, which is when you maintain eye contact for someone, those 3 seconds are the most important ones, because in those 3 seconds, and it's really critical to maintain the eye contact for those 3 seconds, she will either look down or look sideways. If she looks down, or if she, maintains an eye contact with you, I guess. But if she looks down, it's a sign that she's being, that she's not used,
Exposure.
If she sees sideways, that means that she's not into you. She doesn't want to talk to her. And that's fine. Or she has a boyfriend. That's before you even walk out to someone. And if she maintains eye contact, that means that she's intrigued now. And once you trigger that emotion, you wanna know more about this person. You trigger that emotion, and now when I'm walking up to you, you've already settled your mind when I come to you. It's not completely out of nowhere. Because when we come to talk to you out of nowhere, you have your guard up automatically without.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even know, but you just do because you've not really used to these situations.
But if you really pay attention to the body language, then you will really, really get the signals and the messages. It's very clear. But you just need to pay attention to those body languages.
What are the body languages? Because I keep talking, and I think these are things that you should be saying, not me.
For example, if they have the hands like that,
right,
that means they are protecting themselves. So the bodyguard is the guard, not the bodyguard. The guard is up.
Unless they have a bodyguard.
You never know. They might have a friend that is their bodyguard.
Of course.
It's always the case.
Okay.
They're always somewhere around there. So pay attention.
That was so funny.
The second one is if you manage to approach them and they have a conversation, so when they open their palms up, that means that they're open for a discussion.
Okay.
And they are open to you and expose. That's number 2. And then I will agree with you on number 3 on eye contact. So if they look at you, they are interested in you. They want to know more. Now, if you're having a conversation and she's looking around, then she's bored, she's not engaging. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
When they look at you and they look down and they look back to you, they are shy, but they still want to talk to you.
Okay. What is one, I don't know, catchphrase or lineup they use on you, or in the past, probably? They said, yeah, that's a good one. I'll give you a chance.
I don't know, because I don't normally work with phrases.
Okay.
Women don't normally work with phrases because men are the ones that they approach the woman.
Yeah, but what is something that someone said to you and said, yeah, you know what? I'll give you a chance for that.
Well, actually, I was walking past in town and there was like a guy coming towards me and say, well, you know what? I don't know you. I don't know if you're going to talk to me or if you want to talk to me, but you look beautiful today. Have a lovely day.
Okay. That's nice.
That's a nice compliment, and you feel well in yourself.
Yeah.
And so I was impressed, to be honest with you. I was like, wow, much appreciated. I felt good for the rest of the day.
And then he was gone.
But then he left.
Then he was gone. Okay.
You know, sometimes, even when you say something...
That's practice. That's what I said about practice.
Yeah, and that
building up your confidence.
Yeah, exactly. And being positive as well. And then you're like, oh.
Yeah. All women want to hear compliments, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I absolutely love women compliments, and I think, you're like creatures, you have an amazing job in life, and you bring other people to life, and I think you deserve those compliments. We don't get as much, but we would like, or even, unless it's just me, but anyway, so... But that's really interesting, and I absolutely agree. And if you walk out to someone, you don't really want to be cold and have nothing to say when it's the moment to talk to someone, you know. Going forward rather to dates. Say you're on a date with a guy, how do you feel like who should pay for the first date and why? Because I see this everywhere. I really want to make the point of that.
It is a bit tricky. So in my case, I will offer to pay mine. Yeah.
Okay.
However, I will appreciate it more if he's been a gentleman and he ends up paying for both.
Paying. Okay.
Simple.
I agree. I would never allow myself for someone else, if I'm going on a date with someone, to pay for the meal or drink or whatever. It's something that you really don't want to do, especially on the first date. If it's like $200, I don't know, £100, because you ask her on the date, most likely. Even if she asks you, I will still pay. And I would do it in a way that she would never find out. Because that's the thing. You don't want to be, say you go for food with someone and the waiter, you finish your conversation and had a great time. You don't want the waiter come to your table with the POS waiting to get paid.
That's a good technique.
Because that's now an awkward moment for her. Because now she's testing you on if you're actually willing to pay for the meal. Because that is the moment you can see the vibes, you can see the energy. And if you want to avoid that, to just end the night amazingly and smoothly, you just go to the toilet. And as you go to the toilet before you guys leave, you pay for everything.
Yeah.
And no one ever, find out on, oh yeah, how much is this for your side, and how many, chips you ate, and I start counting on the chips I ate, and said, oh, you ate more food than me, or you drank more than me.
Yeah.
Because I know those things are very real. And that's how I see it, at least. But one thing I don't like is having the expectation of me paying. There is something about that just annoys me.
It will annoy me too. If like a woman had approach is, well, what do you mean who's gonna pay? Yeah. You're gonna pay. Like that attitude and that character is not quite nicely. I wouldn't like that response either, personally.
Yeah. I don't know, it's just a big turn off for me. It immediately puts me in the skeptic of, oh, does she just dating me for my money and the things that are for the good lifestyle that I have, and everybody wants to be part of it? Because you automatically put yourself in those thoughts and say, oh, hold on a moment. I mean, I'll do it fine, but why does she have that kind of attitude? And
I'm here just like only to pay whatever she wants, kind of thing. It will put me off as well, because that doesn't show that she's genuine
about you.
Yeah.
And more like on the things that you come with.
Yeah.
Speaking about that, how would you describe a high value man?
How would I describe a high?
Someone would you call a high value man, and someone would you be okay to see in the long term? And what does a high value man means to you?
The first thing that it comes on my mind is have manners.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite important for me personally. Then the second thing will be to have a personality, because it's quite important that they have an opinion and they just don't get lost with other people around them. And the third that I would say will be to be genuine, open and honest, and be truth to the other person, really. I think that's the three characteristics that they will matter to me the most.
Do you think a high value man is someone who is capable of providing and protecting and having to, give something to the table?
That will come a little bit after, really, because in the beginning, what you want to find out is what kind of person you have opposite to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you will think about what they can bring to you to make you both a whole.
And what do you think is your responsibility as a woman when you find that ideal partner? And what values do you bring to the table as a woman in that scenario?
Sometimes what we think, we don't communicate it, and we expect the other person to read our minds. So I will express verbally what I am thinking. So the man on the other side.
What sort of values, like, as you individual bring to the table when you now express those values towards the ideal guy, I guess?
More or less, I would expect the same things from me.
The same.
So
Okay.
it will be the same. I wouldn't have different expectations from the other half if I don't bring the same values to them, if that makes sense.
I didn't want to expose you there, but I think this is very critical to understand both sides. Because nowadays you see a lot of either women, mostly women nowadays, they expect so many things from the guy.
They expect everything.
They expect to be the provider, the protector, to have so much money, to be tall, fit, black, or tanned, or with
unrealistic.
With
sometimes.
How many and all that. And when it comes to, okay, I can try my best, provide everything that you ask for, or come with this lifestyle, whatever. But when it comes to the opposite, and they say, all I bring to the table is myself and what I have, and that's just not good enough. And I understand the frustration of many men who come across to these situations, because if they end up having a relationship with this person, and all they are for with them is just money and fame and the network this guy has, then it's just what's his, how he's gonna feel like appreciated and loved and all that, if all you care about is how you can steal my money and the things that I've built up my whole life.
But don't you think that it's quite important to address those things in the beginning of when there's people still dating?
Absolutely, because that's exactly my point. That's why I asked you those questions, and because I think those are very important questions to ask early in the beginning. But I don't think you need to ask those questions, because there are certain characteristics or traits from women that you can actually see and tell, chances are that if she's behaving like this when she's single or around other guys, then nothing's gonna change her when she's with you. And the things that I currently see, to see if I can see myself with someone else, I need to see if that person I have in front of you can be the mirror of my life.
But that's why you can get those signs through a conversation that you have.
It's not just a conversation. I think it's a conversation.
It's
the conversation
how you will act
as well. But I think it's also what you selling out to other people, whether that is your appearance or where you talk to other people. Because there are certain things, certain ways that we don't appreciate doing if you were to be our girlfriend in front of other men or in front of other people. And the biggest thing is to never disrespect us publicly, because this is really important for guys and for men to be respected. And the moment that we feel that we're not being respected, especially disrespected from our girlfriend or lover or whatever, or partner, in front of other people, that automatically is a massive turn off and a big no-no for us, because now we'll have all these arguments, we'll have all these things going on, and we will never be respected for the things that we want to do, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's a big problem nowadays. And the way I see it, if you really see the big picture, that issue comes from men. Because we allow certain behaviors and certain actions to be made. Say if you like someone, a millionaire or making tons of money, or you're a rapper, influencer that's just traveling around the world, you allowed the action of you flying out other people and give them 10 G's, sleeping with them one night, and then now they have that ideal situation, and all they want to do and find other people is having similar traits. Because if you live to this lifestyle and you're coming back to this lifestyle,
your expectations
are way up, and you're never satisfied with what commoner can give you.
Yeah,
it's just as simple as that. And this comes back to, and the rest of the behavior comes back to the normal dude that's going through all the shit that she's bringing with, and all the drama and all that, and all those things. Do you think I'm right on those, the way I see it, or do you think I have like some points that?
No, I do agree with that. If I will disagree, I will give you a different example. But these are behaviors that I completely agree with.
Okay, I guess we can leave it as that. Make sure you guys subscribe and follow for more.